Hello everyone, this is Vinay from Learn Coding with Vinay. In this video, we are going to discuss what is a database table, right? So a database table is actually a building block of any database because it holds data it holds data in a two-dimensional structure which is consist of rows and columns. Let's take an example of this employee table over here. Let me run this query and see what we have. So we have a table called employee which has 6 columns, right? And there are few rows in the table, right? And let's try to read out the first line. It says that there is an employee with ID 1. The name of that employee is Vinay Patel. Department is IT. His age is 35. His salary is 10,000, and he's coming from a location which is called Amalsara, right? So this is how you should read a table data. Right. Now this is a very simple example, and this is how a database table look like in SQL, MS SQL database, right? But as a beginner, my suggestion would be, as a beginner, try to understand data around you. Right? Try to understand data around you and see how you can convert into a SQL database table. So if you practice this, then it will be easier for you to understand data around you, and at the same time, it will be easier for you to convert them into a database table, right? So we must have seen such a two-dimensional data in real world, one or the other way, one or the other places. Take a pause of this video for a while and try to think where you have seen this data, right? So let me take you through few examples, right? So this is the school timetable example, right? So probably this will be the first tabular structure data we have seen in our life, right? Quite easy. Second is the calendar. We are doing, we are checking calendar in our phones on a day-to-day life, right? It is also a tabular structure data, right? Or we can see it in our home also hanging on the wall, right? Next one is an example of train schedule and fare rates. Fare. So this is an example of a narrow gauge train running in my village to some other village, right? So the list is quite small, right? But this is an example of another tabular structure data we usually see on a day-to-day life, right? So maybe when you visit bus stand or railway station, you probably will be able to see this such data, right? The next one is an example of whenever we go to some restaurant, we will be handed over a fancy menu, right, which will have such dishes and their prices list, right? So try to understand this data, try to understand this data. Let's try to understand this data and convert it into a SQL table, right? So what do we have over here? We have some serial number, then we have a dish name, then we have price, right? So as a part of tabular structure, we have only these three column data, right? But if you take a note closely, that these again data are categorized, right? So some of them are written under vegetable category, some of them are written under dal category, right? Some of them are under salad, some of them are under papad, right? So let's try to create a database table for that will store actually this menu data, right? So let me go back to SSMS again. Let me enlarge a little bit and let's see what we have done. So I have created a table called restaurant menu, right? I have taken few columns, code, which will be this, maybe the dish code, then dish name, then price, which is this is this name, this is price, right? And now I have taken two more column, one called category and one is good for. This is an extra column which we don't see in the menu, right? In category we can say vegetable, salad, papad, right? So this is how we have created the table, and this is how I have inserted few data. And let's see this how this data look like now in a database table, right? So we have code 176, which is this. We have the name of the dish is mixed veg, right? Price is 180, 180, and the category is vegetable and good for. So this column indicates that the quantity of this particular dish is good enough or good to serve how many people, right? So this is good to serve 3 people. Next example is 191. So over here 191, dal arhar fry, price of which is 160. 160, it is falling under dal category, and again it is good enough for 3 folks or 3 adults, right? So this is how we have converted our day-to-day life data into a database table, right? So as a beginner, try practicing this. Wherever you go out, try to make a note of what data you see. I'm sure you will definitely see tabular structure data everywhere, right? And then think of a database table, what table you should create out of it and how you should store that data, right? So once you practice this will give you a good idea about real world data, and at the same time it will help you learn SQL also, right? And share your story in this comment section of this video, right, that you saw this and this and try to convert it to this and this table, right? Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video.